Joining me now, Sean Spicer, Communications Director for the Republican National Committee. Sean, you've been tweeting all day about the lack of unity that you say you're seeing among Democrats, but the Democrats would say that that's yesterday's news. You just heard Governor McAuliffe a few minutes ago saying, oh, no more of that tonight, no more discord. And there was far more, they would say, at your convention last week.
Well, I heard the interview you had with Governor McAuliffe, and he reiterated that as of now, the backroom deal that they've been trying to strike all day with Bernie Sanders hasn't come to fruition. So it looks like we may have a delegate fight on the floor. But I think the idea that it's taken this long to sit around a back room and figure out what this is going to cost to get Bernie Sanders on board is troubling for the Democrats. The problem they have is that it's not just personalities or rhetoric. There are true ideological differences in the Democratic Party. You have the extreme far left and the far left fighting it out for the heart and soul of the Democratic Party and how far left they can actually go. So there is an ideological divide, and you saw it all last night. People booing people from the stage, the divide that's happening, the chair of the party having to step down. I mean, this is true, utter chaos.
Hard to argue that they don't have star power here, though, Sean. What did you make of Michelle Obama's speech last night?
Well, I have a lot of respect for the First Lady, and I think she gave a great speech. But again, I don't think star power is what wins it. The American people right now want change. They're tired of the status quo. They've had enough of the Clintons. They've had enough corruption. They've had enough of the status quo. They want change in this country. They want wages to go up. They want an economy that works for them. They want a government that understands the anger and frustration that they're out there right now dealing with. So I think you can put as many people up there on stage to sing songs and bring the star power from Hollywood. But I don't think the average everyday worker out there is impressed by how many people from Hollywood take the stage at the Democratic National Convention.
And let me just ask you about poll numbers coming in. We have a new NBC News SurveyMonkey weekly tracking poll, and it shows that Donald Trump didn't get much of a bump out of last week, which, as you know, is sort of the tradition is to get, on average, about 5 points boost after a convention wraps up. Why do you think that is?
Well, actually, if you look at the CNN poll yesterday, it was 7 points. Trump's the first major candidate to get a bump since 2000. So no matter how you slice it, we actually have defied at least the last couple of generations, last couple of decades of what comes out of a convention. We feel very good about where we are right now. I think you're seeing not just that, but after Donald Trump's speech that was largely panned by the liberal media, 76% of respondents actually thought they enjoyed the speech and were more likely to vote for Trump. So I get that a lot of folks in the media have problems with Trump, but he's resonating with the American people and the American worker who's finding it very tough right now and is tired of the same old status quo politicians from Washington telling him about the same failed policies that haven't worked.
That wasn't a poll of the media, though, with all due respect. That was a poll of American voters, that showed that we haven't seen much of a bump. I take your point that there are other polls that have shown other things.
But with all due respect, Kate, I mean, most of the polls do actually show at least a decent-sized bump coming out. So, I mean, some of them are a couple points, but they go as high as 7. I'll take that any day of the week. The momentum's definitely with us, and the trajectory is forward.
The trajectory is forward. All right. Sean Spicer, RNC Communications Director, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Kate.
And just over an hour.